Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel, and I have some amazing breaking news for you guys today. We are victorious. Take a moment, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already to demonstrate your support of conservative, rational, cogent, sober, and common sense thought as we have discussed these very topics for quite some time, and it was only a matter of time before reality set in, and of course, as we have discussed several times here, for Biden to try to make an effort to enforce the mandates before the Supreme Court steps in. This is a glorious day for everyone here in the United States. I hope this will dampen down the mask, no mask, vax, no vax situation that has divided the country. Also, people have said that the Democrats were supposed to be bringing the country together, but we are even more divided today. From CNBC, breaking: Biden administration withdraws COVID vaccine mandate for businesses after losing Supreme Court case. That's right. The Supreme Court. That is one of our executive branches, by the way, for all you who are not Americans or didn't take civic classes in school. We have the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch, which is the balances of power in the United States, and the Supreme Court came through. Biden's bluff has been canceled. The bully, the surrogate appointed vote by mail president, has broken. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, that would be OSHA, said it is pulling the vaccine and testing rules for businesses effective Wednesday. The Supreme Court's conservative majority, interesting that they had to mention conservative majority, because the Supreme Court is not supposed to base their decisions on politics. They're supposed to base it on law, and they have. So let me start that again. The Supreme Court's conservative majority blocked the rules earlier this month, saying OSHA had exceeded, and the president, exceeded the authority given to the agency by Congress. That's by Congress. Biden has called on businesses to voluntarily implement the requirements. Well, I think at this point, basically what happened was, of course, Biden came out, did his news conference, which allowed businesses to kind of have a buffer, right? They kind of had an excuse to say, well, the president may invoke fines, so we better start on this early. Let's jump on this early and get this going. So they kind of took pressure off businesses. And then, of course, the thing entirely collapsed as individuals who exercise agencies, individuals who understand that we are a constitutional republic, which allows us to exercise liberties and freedoms. Regardless of whether or not you're a business, you have personal agency and can make decisions. This was not going to hold up. The facade is down and broken, and it is absurd. It should have never started to begin with. I don't think we've ever would have seen it if President Trump were president. Biden scraps vaccine requirements for businesses, weighs options after Supreme Court defeat. I'm not sure what options he's going to weigh. Later today, we will have a video. I want you guys to make sure you see it. You'll see up there in the top right-hand corner the link to that video, and that's going to be involving Russia and what's going on in Ukraine and the potential of China. And this could be, it's been speculated that the changes in the UK and the changes in the United States could be a telling sign that our countries, the UK and the United States, are preparing for war. That's just speculation. Let's read. Washington. The Biden administration is officially withdrawing its requirement that most workers be vaccinated or regularly tested for COVID-19. The controversial rule, it wasn't a controversial rule, it was a rule that needed to be ruled. The controversial rule, the Supreme Court blocked from enforcement earlier this month. No, the Supreme Court did its job. The Supreme Court did its job and blocked a president who is just trying to take the reins and do pretty much whatever he likes, or as the establishment pokes him with a stick to do. The administration will also be asking the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals to dismiss the case. But the federal agency that regulates workplace safety said, that would be OSHA, Tuesday, it is still considering whether the vaccine or test rules should be imposed on a non-emergency basis. So here we go again with language, the semantics, right? Mandate is just really an emergency measure. And we implement these emergency measures in an emergency. And we can't just extend these emergencies because it creates problems. And just like we saw with 9/11, with the introduction of the Patriot Act and these sorts of things, really has created a very concerning, has been very concerning, because as we saw with the Capital 6 individuals, they are still in jail, probably being held under the Patriot Act, to which they do not have the right to habeas corpus. And the right to habeas corpus means that you have a right to a speedy trial, meaning that you can go and appear before the judge to plead your case and, of course, be represented because you are a U.S. citizen. All right, so now I have wandered off from the sentence, which could have a better chance of surviving another legal challenge if it is more narrowly targeted. No, this is just Trump. This is just Biden trying to reach for more leveraging, but it's not going to happen. And from CNN Politics, oh my goodness, the people at CNN, what could they be going? I haven't even checked Twitter. I bet they're losing their absolute minds on Twitter right now. Biden administration to withdraw C-19 vaccine and testing regulation aimed at large businesses. That's right. The Biden administration is withdrawing its COVID-19 vaccination and testing regulations aimed at large businesses following the Supreme Court's decision to block the rule earlier this month. That's absolutely right. The U.S. Department of Labor, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, said Tuesday it was withdrawing the vaccination and testing emergency temporary standard. You see, the continuing language of it being an emergency act by government, which was introduced, I guess you could say, fairly by President Trump, of course, but I don't think President Trump would have ever gone to this length to bully and intimidate businesses. That's absolutely not something Trump would do. For businesses with more than 100 or more employees, according to a statement on the agency's website. Of course, that just wasn't going to happen. And I know one of the biggest questions you guys always had for me was, is the Supreme Court or is Congress going to step in and do something about this? And as I've always said, it was just going to be a matter of time, right? It was just going to be a matter of Biden biding his time to see if businesses could do this. And it might have been some kind of just an arrangement, as it were, with the establishment to be able to give, or to allow Biden to kind of be the brunt, right? To be able to kind of absorb the criticism of businesses having to implement this rather draconian, authoritarian mandate, right? So it was just kind of like, well, this is what Biden told us to do, so we're doing what Biden said. So this was just kind of a way for them to buffer themselves, and now it's completely collapsed. And I couldn't be happier, as I'm sure you guys have probably realized during the course of this video. I mean, I'm just absolutely ecstatic and happy that this has occurred. And of course, I was just equally as happy when the Supreme Court ruled on this, because, ladies and gentlemen, as a conservative, I try to look at things as rationally as possible, you know, and that is to just kind of sit back and relax and look and see what people are saying, disseminate the information, see what's practical, see what's functional, see what's substantive, see what would actually work in reality. And that's kind of the way I approach it. Now, I do get criticism from the left, of course, and from moderates, and even alleged centrists that I have a conservative bias or a bias towards Republicans, which is not entirely true. Of course I have a bias. I have a bias towards what is right. I have a bias towards the fact that my conservative staunch ideology comes from the founding fathers who created the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And these are very simple documents that anyone can read and look at and understand. You don't have to be a legal scholar. You don't have to go to even high school or college, enough at least to read, to be able to understand how our Constitution is supposed to work. So don't allow others to confuse you with information. That's why we're here on the BuzWeaver channel, to bring you guys the information, disseminate it down to a digestible level so you guys can understand what's actually happening. And I couldn't be more excited. I couldn't be any more happier to bring you guys this news today. This was just breaking. I was just doing a video on Russia and there in Crimea, and what's going on in Ukraine and Crimea and so forth, and in China. So you guys make sure you stick around for that video. I'll have that out for you here momentarily. And it is 2020, and we're going to be doing the smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already to support the channel. I want to say a special thank you to all those on Rumble, Odyssey, and BitChute for your continued support on New Tech. Thank you guys so very much. This is so incredibly awesome. This is a big victory for all of us. Please pat yourself on the back, and we'll do imaginary handshakes and so forth for this great accomplishment here. Thank you for supporting the channel, and this is why I need your support, so we can bring this sort of news to the normies who may not have necessarily known how to reach and get this information as we disseminate the difficult and the complicated down to a easy to understand level. Thank you guys for your continued support. That right now appearing there on the screen would be the channel icon if you're watching this on YouTube. You can click on that to subscribe, as well as set notifications if you want to know when there is content here on the channel. Now understand that you will be notified if you do select notification. I also do video shorts for gaming when it comes to Battlefield 2042. But guys, thank you so much for all of your support, and I will see you in the next video later this evening.